you. So it should be Wednesday, the 14th of July, and I am going to be delivering your English lesson for you this morning so that we can learn a lot today about past tense verbs. Now, we're not just going to be learning about any old past tense verbs, we're going to be learning about irregular past tense verbs. Now, I know before we left on Monday, Greek class, you already had a little bit of input on this. So some of these things might seem a little bit familiar, but the activities that you're going to be doing are slightly different. So stick with me, okay? And Sudley, you'll be catching up as soon as you get to see what's going on. So we've got, I'm going to share my screen. So here we go. Excuse me. So lesson sounds, phase 6, irregular past tense verbs. So let's just quickly unpick that. So we've got irregular. So irregular means it's not regular. Okay, regular means the same as what we always know, but this is irregular, so it's not always the same. Okay, so it's past tense, which means it already happened. So it's not future tense or current tense, it's past tense, so it's already happened, and we're looking at verbs, and verbs are doing words. So basically what we're looking at are irregular verbs that have already happened, so things that people have already done. Now, I know lots of you in Greek class have already seen this video, but it is a really good one just to explain to us exactly what irregular verbs are. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see this video, because it is a good one. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, and it will help you just understand a little bit more about irregular verbs. Okay, so that was Irregular Sue, okay, and she was teaching us about irregular past tense verbs. So she says, I change words that do. Now, obviously, that's quite interesting. That's because words that do are verbs, aren't they? So what is an irregular verb? So we have touched on this a little bit already, but I'll just go over it for you again. So an irregular verb is a verb that doesn't follow the usual rules. Now, the usual rules when we change a verb to past tense is we would use a suffix. Does anybody know what that suffix is? It's an ed suffix. So let me just show you. So when we change some verbs to past tense, we cannot simply add the suffix ed. Now, lots of verbs that we use can use that rule, and we would just use an ed to make it into the past. So for example, play would become played with an ed suffix. So let's just have a look at some of those now. So on my screen in front of me, you can see, or on your screen in front of you as well, you can see I've got some verbs all the way around these two circles. Now, what I would like you to do for me, year 2, is I'd like you to pause your video in a moment, and I would like you to draw these two circles. Draw the circles and put your ed in one of the circles and irregular verbs in the other one, okay? And I want you to decide which of these verbs belongs in our ed to make it past tense, and which ones belong in the irregular verb box, okay? So for example, I've already given it away with this one, haven't I? Because I just gave you this example of play. When we change it to past tense, becomes played, okay? So it belongs in the ed section. So I'll add it into there. So pause your video now and go and give that a go. I'm hoping that you did pause your video and you're not just going to cheat and watch me give you all the answers. So hopefully lots of you will be back now, having paused your video and completed this activity by yourself independently. So let's just talk through each of these verbs and decide together whether we think it's an ed, it's a regular verb, we can just put it in the ed, or it's irregular and we're going to have to change it slightly. So let's have a look at this one, buy. So buy. So I'm going to go to the shops and buy a sandwich, okay? But if I already had that sandwich, I've already been to the shops, then I've already been to buy it, then I can't say I buyed a sandwich. Does that make sense? Buyed a sandwich? No, we couldn't say I went to the shop and buyed a sandwich. So we know it's not an ed verb. We're going to have to put it in our irregular verbs, because buy, and when we put it into past tense, becomes, does anybody know? It's bought. So I went to the sandwich and bought I went to the shop and bought a sandwich. Okay, so bought would be our irregular past tense verb in that example. Let's have a look at this one. What if you were in a hurry yesterday to get to the shop? Okay, and you run. Okay, so you wouldn't say I runned all the way. Runned doesn't sound right, does it? You didn't run all the way to the shop. You ran all the way to the shops. So there we go. So you've got run becomes ran. So all we're changing in this one, just like irregular Sue said, that some of our verbs, we just need to change the vowel sound in some of them. So Greek class, I know you guys know the vowel rap that helps us just to remember what our 5 vowels are. So if you want to sing it with me, you can sing it with me now. And then Sudi class, you can listen along, or you can join in if you know it too. So we go, ah, I, o, That is how we say them. Ah, I, o, That is how we play them. We say them soft, we say them loud. Of our vowels, we sure are proud. Ah, I, o, That is how we say them. So those are our vowels. So our vowels are the sounds that often come in the middle of words. So run would become ran, to change it to the past tense. So I ran to the shop. Amazing. Right, talk. So I talked would make sense. So we can put talked into our ed words, because we can add talked onto there. But we can also say spoke. So there's other words that we could use. Excuse me. There are other words that we can use instead sometimes of these verbs that might suit our sentence type better. However, talked is one that we can say because it is a real word. Drinked. Do we think we can say drinked? right? Drink is another example where we would change that vowel sound. So instead of the I for drink, our vowel would become ah, and we'd say, I drank all of my drink. Amazing. Sleep. Now, this is an irregular verb that changes quite a lot. So we're not going to say I sleeped, because that would be silly. I sleeped, it would have to be slept. So we would change it so the S and the L and the E would be there. We'd take one E out and add a T on the end, slept. Amazing. And then jump becomes jumped. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys should know that one. Now, drip is an interesting one because we know from some of our other suffix rules that if we've got a small vowel sound, a small vowel sound, which we do in this word, I, followed by a consonant, which is P, we would have to add another P and then an ED. So dripped is correct, but we would also have to add an extra consonant sound, which is our P sound there for it to make sense. So I'm hoping that you guys have written those correctly into your boxes. No cheating. I hope you all did a good job there. So let's go through some of these ones. So yesterday, she what? So not yesterday, she seed, because that would be a completely different word. See, yesterday, she didn't seed. Yesterday, she saw. Let's go yesterday. Today she swims, but yesterday we changed that vowel sound so it wouldn't be an I, it would be an ah, and it would be she swam. Yesterday he drink. We couldn't say that, and we certainly couldn't say yesterday he drinked. So we'd have to change the vowel sound in the middle to drank. Yesterday he drank, excuse me. Yesterday she sits, or yesterday she sitted. We can't say that, unfortunately. We can't say she sitted. We'd have to say yesterday she sat. So again, we're just changing that vowel sound from an I to an A. Yesterday he eated. Can't say that. So eats becomes ate. So let's just have a quick look. So what did she do? She saw. What did he do? He drank. What did she do? She wrote. So that's one that wasn't on our list, but that's a good one to remember. Not righted, it's wrote. So here we go. So she saw, he drank, she wrote, she swam, she sat, and he ate. Amazing. So I'm going to have to ask you to spot some oopses here. So look at this one. We've had to change it. So Miss Evans taught us letters and sounds. So look, we've used a purple polishing pen there because we originally wrote Miss Evans teached us letters and sounds, and we've had to change it to Miss Evans taught us letters and sounds. So much better there. Miss O'Connor told us to sit down. So we've used a purple polishing pen and written told. So Miss O'Connor told us to sit down. Mrs. Powell drinked all of her drink. Goodness me, we certainly can't say drinked. So we've had to change it, and we've now got drank. And then let's see our final one. Mrs. Clifton writed down our 99 club scores. So you can see we've just had to change again that vowel sound in the middle. So not righted, it becomes wrote. Mrs. Clifton wrote down our 99 club scores. So we have to be very careful when we're writing past tense verbs to make sure that we're using the correct version, whether it's an irregular version or a regular one. So here is your task for me this morning. And this is what I would like to see photos of. And Miss O'Connor would like to see photos of via Dojo. So you're going to fill in the blanks, the verbs, and match the images. Now, there's images down there, they can help you. Now, some of you might want to pause this recording so that you can do your work from this screen, or else I will upload this piece of work so that you can get it from your Dojo and you can use that if that's easier for you. So you can see the sentences have got a verb missing. So the children something the song loudly. Now you can see at the end, you've got the present tense verb that needs to be changed into the past. So you've got run, sing, drive, eat, dive, ride, drink, read, go, and shake. So those are all your verbs. You need to you need to change them to past tense and fill them in. So you can see the first example, the man ran to catch the train. So the verb was run, and now we've changed it into past tense. The man ran to catch the train. So make sure you're reading these out loud to help you if you're not sure, and see whether you've got the correct vowel sound in there for me. It's not the vowel sound, sorry, the correct version of your past tense verb. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that I get lots of lovely irregular verb worksheets back from you all, and I can't wait to see them all. I shall see you later on for your next lesson. Thank you so much, everybody. Good luck. Well done.